Good morning, third graders. Today we're on page 241 of your student journal, page 241. And our objective today says, today I will learn to identify addition and multiplication patterns. Okay, so today I will learn to identify addition and multiplication patterns. So that's what we're going to be focusing on. And pay attention, it's addition and multiplication. So we know that it has to be one of those. Okay, let's look at our vocabulary today. Our first vocabulary word is reminding us what a pattern is. It's a sequence of numbers that follows a rule. There's some sort of rule. And then they also remind us about our even and odd numbers. They show us a multiplication table that we could use to help us if we need to. I'm not going to be using it to help for my problems today though. And then they let us know what a rule is, a statement that explains the sequence of patterns. So I'm going to just jump right in and get started on my problem to show you what this looks like. Okay, so here is my first problem. And you're going to see a sequence of numbers that is missing some. So my first problem says, what numbers come next in the pattern? So they've given me 4 numbers and then there's 3 empty spots and I need to figure out what goes there. So what do I know? Well, I know the book told me it's going to be an addition or a multiplication pattern. So it's going to be one of those, right? Okay, well, what do I know about 12 and 24? I know that 12 plus what would get me 24? 12 plus what gives me 24? Let's see, I can use this as scratch paper if I need to. What does 12 plus 12 give me? 2 plus 2 is 4, and 1 plus 1 is 24. I was right. I was thinking 12, but I wanted to check. So 12 plus 12 is 24. How did they go from 24 to 36? How did 24 turn into 36? Could they have added 12 again? Let's check. 24 plus 12. Let's see. 4 ones plus 2 ones is 6 ones. 2 tens plus 1 10 is, look it, friends, from 24 to 36, they also added 12. I'm starting to think that that could be my pattern. Let's check again. How did they go from 36 to 48? Did they also add 12? Let's see. 36 plus 12 would give me what? 6 ones plus 2 ones is 8 ones. 3 tens plus 1 10 is 4 tens. Yep. So what did I notice? My rule looks like it's add 12. Each time they add 12. So my rule is add 12. But now I need to fill in the next one. So we have 48. What would I do to get to the next one? Well, the rule says I need to add 12 each time. So let's add 12. So what do I get? 8 ones plus 2 ones is 10 ones. But am I going to put a 10 there? No, that's when I need to regroup. So I'm going to put a 0 there, and I'm going to put my 10 in the tens column. I'm doing working form right now. 1 10 plus 4 tens is 5 tens, plus another 10 is 6 tens. So 48 add 12 is 60. Okay, we need to add 12 again because each time we have to add 12. So 60 plus 12. 0 ones plus 2 ones is 2 ones. 6 tens plus 1 10 is 7 tens. So I get 72. And then I also need to do one more. So 72 plus 12. So I have 2 ones plus 2 ones is 4 ones. 7 tens plus 1 10 is 8 tens. So my pattern is here, and then this is my rule to my pattern. Okay, let's look at my next problem. My next problem says, use the multiplication table to determine whether 5 times an even number always makes an even or odd product. Okay, so let's 5 times an even number. And I fibbed when I said I wasn't going to use my table. I am. 5 times an even number. They want to know what happens if I do 5 times an even number. So let's come over here and see. Okay, ready? So 5 times an even number. So here's my multiplication table, and you have one as well. So I'm going to use my yellow. So 5's, here's my number 5. And on this side, they want me to use an even number. So I'm going to do 2. So 5 times 2 is 10. That's even. Let's do 4. That's my next even. 5 times 4 is 20. That's even. Let's do 6. 5 times 6 is 30. That's another even. I have to move it up so you can see. 5 times 8 is 40. That's even. 5 times 10 is 50. That's even. And then 5 times 12 is 60. So when I multiplied 5 by all these even numbers, I always came up with an even product. So that would be my answer. So I could say the product will always be even. Okay, so friends, let's try some of these together. Today, you have a multiplication table also that we can turn to, but we're going to start first on page 243. So let's turn to page 243, and here's our first problem. Okay, so our first one is giving us a rule. It says, what numbers come next in the pattern? And we have 2, 4, 8, 16, and then there's a rule. Now remember, we know that we're looking for addition or multiplication rules. Okay, so let's try addition first. What happened from 2 to become 4? What did they add? Didn't they add 2? Okay, so what happened from 4 to get to 8? Did they also add 2? Oh, they didn't, because 4 plus 2 is 6. So I shouldn't get to 8. So my rule is not plus 2. I'm wrong. Okay, so, So the addition one didn't work. Let's try multiplication. 2 times what gives me 4? So 2 times what equals 4? What did they multiply 2 by? Oh, you hopefully said 2, right? So 2 times 2 equals 4. Okay, so that worked. How did they get from 4 to 8? 4 times what gave them 8? How did they go from 4 to 8? Oh, is it also 2? It is. That also worked times 2. How did they get from 8 to 16? 8 times what equals 16? Is that also 2? Does 2 work? Yep, 2 8s is 16. So did we find our rule? Is that working? It is. So our rule is times 2. So now we need to find the rest of them. We need to find the rest of the multiplication. Now, I know, friends, that you might not know the rest of these multiplication tables because these are quite large for you, some of these numbers. That's okay. Okay, that's okay. So we need to know what our next one would be 16 times 2 equals what? And again, I know that you might not know numbers that large, and that's okay. So I will help you with this. Well, what do I know? I know 2 10s is 20, and I know 2 6s is 12. So 20 plus 12 is 32. 32. That's how I would have done that. and that's okay to do it that way. So we now need to do 32 times 2. Well, what do we know? Do we know that 2 30s would be 60? And 2 2s would be 4? So our answer is 64. That's a good way to attack that, is we can decompose it. Okay, and our last one is we need to know what 64 times 2 is. So what would 2 60s be? If you had 60 and another 60, would that be 120? And what would 2 4s be? 8? So our answer is 128. And it's okay, friends, if you did not know those large multiplication numbers. That's okay. Okay, let's look at our next one. And our next one says, use the multiplication table to determine whether 4 times an even number always makes an even or an odd product. So 4 times an even number. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to turn this page and we're going to do 4 times an even number. So I want you to highlight the 4 up here. And then on this side, let's highlight our evens. So 2, 4, 6, 8, and I know I'm going to have to move it up, 10, and 12. Okay, so what you should have is a 4 here, and we're going to multiply it by an even number. So let's see what happens when they match up. So 4 times 2 is 8. 4 times 4 is 16. 4 times 6 is 24. Let's move it up. 4 times 8 is 32. 4 times 10 is 40. And 4 times 12 is 48. So what do we see about our products? We have 8, 16, 24, 32, 40, and 48. So could we agree that our products are all even? I would say yes. So on our answer, we're going to say the product will always be even. Okay, boys and girls, have a wonderful day, and I will see you tomorrow